Have you ever noticed how something as simple as a sweet potato, humble, earthy, and naturally sweet, can spark heated debates in the health world? Some people say it's too starchy. Others lump it in with sugary carbs to avoid. But here's the truth. Sweet potatoes, when eaten the right way, can actually help your body reverse inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, nourish your brain, and even support deeper sleep. This isn't hype. This is natural physiology working the way it was designed to. See, your body doesn't just run on calories. It runs on signals, nutrient signals, hormone rhythms, and biochemical messages that either promote healing or slow it down. And sweet potatoes, especially when paired correctly and timed well, are packed with signal nutrients that activate repair pathways. This matters more as we age. Why? Because our metabolism becomes more sensitive. Our insulin response changes. Muscle recovery slows. Sleep quality can decline. And chronic, low-grade inflammation becomes the silent background music of aging. But here's the good news. You don't need to fear foods like sweet potatoes. In fact, for many seniors and health-conscious adults, they're one of the most overlooked tools for aging with strength, clarity, and comfort. In this video, we're going to break down how to eat sweet potatoes in a way that supports 12 common issues we all face as we get older, including joint pain, blood sugar imbalances, digestive sluggishness, poor circulation, sleep disruptions, and more. You'll learn why sweet potatoes actually help stabilize insulin when eaten correctly, how to use their resistant starch to heal the gut and lower inflammation, when to eat them to support sleep hormones and calm nighttime cravings, the best nutrient pairings that unlock their full healing potential, and most importantly, you'll gain a deeper understanding of how your body works, not as a machine to be fixed, but as a brilliant system designed to heal itself when supported naturally. So if you care about sleeping deeper, healing faster, and aging with energy, make sure to watch until the end and subscribe so you don't miss the natural wisdom your body is craving. One of the most overlooked healing tools in a sweet potato isn't a vitamin or antioxidant. It's something that forms after you cook it and cool it down. It's called resistant starch. And for older adults especially, this simple compound can be transformative. Now, most carbohydrates you eat break down into glucose, which raises your blood sugar. But resistant starch, as the name suggests, resists digestion in the small intestine. Instead of turning to sugar right away, it travels to your colon where it becomes food for your good gut bacteria. What's happening in your body is this. The cooled sweet potato becomes a prebiotic, a form of fiber that your beneficial microbes ferment into short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, BMI. By the way, fiber in the diet is the best source of vitamin D, which is why I can't stomach biting my veal without more fiber. Whereas BMI is beneficial microbes ferment into short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, BMI, and BMI. When the food is frozen for a few days, the form of fiber that your beneficial microbes ferment into is better. And this prevents the biomolecules like butyrate, BMI, and BMI, which is what makes beneficial microbes ferment into, is better. And this prevents the biomolecules like butyrate, BMI, and BMI, which is what makes beneficial microbes ferment into, is better. And butyrate does something extraordinary. It reduces gut inflammation, strengthens the intestinal wall, and signals your immune system to calm down. This is critical because about 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. And when that gut lining is compromised through age, stress, poor diet, or medications, we see more food sensitivities, more joint pain, and more brain fog. But your body doesn't need to be fought. It needs to be fed the right signals. Resistant starch is one of those healing signals. Here's a simple protocol. Cook your sweet potato, let it cool in the fridge for at least 4 to 6 hours, then create a nice cooling bath, then reheat gently or eat it cold in a salad or mash with olive oil. The cooling process transforms some of the starch into its resistant form. And yes, reheating it lightly retains most of the resistant starch. And the best part? This kind of fiber doesn't just help your digestion, it supports your whole body. Butyrate, the byproduct of resistant starch, has been shown to help lower systemic inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, strengthen the blood-brain barrier, even reduce the risk of colon cancer. In one study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, adults who consumed resistant starch daily saw improvements in insulin response and digestive function in just 4 weeks. That's not a pharmaceutical. That's the power of the right kind of food prepared the right way. And if you struggle with constipation, irregularity, or that heavy gut feeling after meals, this is a gentle way to restore rhythm to your digestive system. Here's another tip for making this work even better. Pair your cooled sweet potato with a tablespoon of healthy fat, like grass-fed butter, extra virgin olive oil, or even coconut oil. Fat slows digestion and enhances absorption of fat-soluble nutrients like beta-carotene, while also improving gut motility. Over time, this habit, just a few times a week, can help rebalance your microbiome, reduce bloating, and rebuild the gut from the inside out. And the ripple effects are real. Better digestion, calmer immunity, clearer skin, and a more energized brain. If this is helping you see food differently, tap the like button. It helps us reach more people who need to know their body is designed to heal itself, not just manage symptoms. And subscribe if you haven't yet. There's more natural healing wisdom to come. Because sweet potatoes aren't just food. When used with intention, they're a therapeutic tool. And resistant starch is one of nature's most underrated healers. Let's clear up one of the biggest myths in nutrition, especially for those of us navigating the metabolic shifts that come with age. Carbs are bad. Not quite. The truth is more nuanced and far more hopeful. Your body doesn't just react to the amount of carbohydrates you eat. It responds to how you eat them, what you eat them with, and when you eat them. And this is where sweet potatoes become a powerful tool, not a threat, for blood sugar balance. Sweet potatoes are a low to moderate glycemic food, meaning they raise blood sugar more slowly than refined carbs like white bread, pasta, or even white potatoes. But the real magic happens when you understand their nutrient matrix. Unlike processed starches, sweet potatoes contain natural blood sugar regulators like chlorogenic acid, a polyphenol that helps slow glucose absorption in the intestines, and soluble fiber, which slows the speed at which sugar enters your bloodstream. What's happening in your body is this. The fiber and phytonutrients in sweet potatoes buffer the glucose response. They help your cells receive energy in a more gradual, sustainable way instead of overwhelming your pancreas with a sugar spike and crash. But here's the protocol that matters. Don't eat sweet potatoes alone. Always pair them with a healthy fat like olive oil, avocado, or pasture-raised ghee, and a clean protein like wild-caught salmon, eggs, or grass-fed beef. This slows gastric emptying and gives your insulin system time to respond calmly, not urgently. This is especially important for older adults, whose insulin sensitivity naturally decreases with age. According to research published in Diabetes Care, even modest improvements in post-meal insulin response can reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes in older adults by up to 30%. And here's a timing tip. If you enjoy sweet potatoes, eat them at your evening meal, not first thing in the morning. Why? Because insulin sensitivity is naturally a bit lower in the evening, and pairing slow digesting carbs with a protein-rich dinner may help your body better prepare for rest and recovery. It also reduces the likelihood of late-night sugar cravings. Another advantage? The complex carbohydrates in sweet potatoes help restore liver glycogen, a backup energy source your body taps into while you sleep. If you've ever woken up at 3 a.m. with racing thoughts or hunger pangs, that may be a sign of blood sugar instability. A well-balanced dinner with a small portion of sweet potato can help buffer that. Let's not forget the role of minerals here either. Sweet potatoes are rich in magnesium and potassium, which not only support muscle relaxation, but also help glucose transport inside the cells more effectively. When these minerals are depleted, which is common in older adults, blood sugar control often worsens. So instead of avoiding sweet potatoes out of fear, the wiser approach is to respect their timing, combine them intentionally, and let them work with your body's natural rhythms. Here's a practical meal idea. Small cooled and reheated sweet potato, 2 tablespoons olive oil or grass-fed butter, 6 ounces of protein like wild salmon or pasture-raised chicken, a handful of leafy greens, with apple cider vinegar. That's a blood sugar friendly dinner that feeds your body, balances your hormones, and helps you sleep. If this reframes how you see carbs, give this video a like. It tells the algorithm to share this kind of holistic healing knowledge with more people. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. We're just getting into the wisdom your body's been waiting for, because healthy aging isn't about cutting out everything. It's about adding back what supports your body's natural intelligence. There's a quiet deficiency affecting millions of people over 50, and it's not due to a lack of calories. It's due to a lack of minerals, specifically potassium and magnesium. These are what I call calm minerals. They're responsible for relaxing your muscles, balancing fluid levels, easing tension in your blood vessels, and calming the nervous system after a long day. And one of the richest whole food sources of both? Sweet potatoes, especially when eaten with the skin and prepared simply. Here's what's happening in your body. Potassium works inside your cells to pull in glucose, regulate heartbeat, and maintain electrical balance in the muscles and nerves. Magnesium, meanwhile, acts like a biological brake pedal. It helps relax tight muscles, improves sleep quality, reduces cortisol, and supports healthy blood pressure. So on to the next one. The pros and cons of break the fast in real time during 5 days of fasting in this real way is the best way to ensure a healthy sleep breakthrough. I've proven to this works also. Put your phone in a box, put your notebook in the car. So the problem is, as we age, we lose some of our ability to retain and absorb these minerals, especially if we're taking diuretics, dealing with stress, or not eating enough plant-based whole foods. This is why so many older adults experience late cramps at night, irregular heartbeat, higher blood pressure, restless sleep, slow recovery after walking or light exercise. But your body doesn't need to be medicated for this. So it just needs to be remineralized. Just one medium sweet potato with the skin contains about 540 milligrams of potassium and 30-40 milligrams of magnesium. That's more potassium than a banana, and with none of the blood sugar spike if you eat it wisely. Now, what's the protocol? To maximize these minerals, bake or steam your sweet potatoes with the skin on. That's where a significant portion of the potassium lives. Then pair it with a small pinch of natural sea salt and a fat source like avocado, coconut oil, or olive oil. This combination enhances mineral absorption and helps rebalance your sodium-potassium ratio, a key factor in lowering high blood pressure naturally. And even more, if your son wears pants that lower blood pressure, then most sons, the pressure increases far more than the pants allow for. This also makes the pants super obedient, so the sun doesn't lose power while you're sitting on the beach or possibly killing off your pythons. So, intermittent fasting and Mediterranean diet, it's fascinating study and certainly not far-fetched enough to just be a miniature program. So, in any case, I do hope you have a great week, and without further ado, let's dive in. In fact, studies published in journals like Hypertension and the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition show that increasing potassium through food, not supplements, has a stronger blood pressure lowering effect than reducing sodium alone. So instead of just cutting salt, think about adding potassium. It's about restoring mineral balance, not just eliminating things. And don't forget about recovery. If you're someone who takes walks, does light resistance bands, or is building strength later in life, you need magnesium and potassium to help your muscles repair. Sweet potatoes are a glucose. There's also a production of sweetcose during sleep, which encourages muscle recovery. But when it caters to nutrients, that acts like a disserving public health message. Support glycogen restoration and electrolyte replenishment. Here's a simple evening recovery bowl you can try. 1/2 to 1 small baked sweet potato with skin, cooled and reheated. A drizzle of olive oil, a sprinkle of sea salt, a few slices of avocado. Optional, a poached egg or a scoop of cottage cheese. This provides a gentle, mineral-rich, carb-balanced recovery meal that also promotes parasympathetic activation, your body's rest and digest mode. If this is helping you connect the dots between minerals and your mood, sleep, and blood pressure, tap the like button. It lets the algorithm know this is the kind of health content people are searching for. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. There's more coming, especially if you're someone who wants to move better, sleep deeper, and age with less inflammation. Remember, your muscles, nerves, and heart run on minerals. And sweet potatoes, simple as they seem, are one of nature's richest and most bioavailable sources. The next time you slice open a sweet potato and see that vibrant orange flesh, think of it as brain food, not just comfort food. That deep color comes from beta-carotene, a powerful antioxidant that does more than support vision. It also plays a vital role in protecting your brain, especially as you age. Now, here's what many people don't realize. Your brain is one of the most oxygen-demanding, energy-hungry organs in your body. It's constantly exposed to oxidative stress, the kind that damages cell membranes, disrupts communication between neurons, and accelerates cognitive decline. But your body isn't defenseless. It's equipped with antioxidant systems that neutralize free radicals and protect your neurons. One of the most important of these protectors is vitamin A, which your body can make from beta-carotene, found in high levels in sweet potatoes. But not just any sweet potato will do. The deeper the orange, the more beta-carotene it contains. And here's a critical point. Beta-carotene is a fat-soluble nutrient, which means your body needs healthy fat to absorb it properly. So what's happening in your body? When you eat a sweet potato with a bit of olive oil, avocado, or grass-fed butter, your digestion helps convert beta-carotene into usable retinol, the active form of vitamin A. That retinol then enters your bloodstream and travels to your brain, where it supports neural membrane repair, reduced oxidative stress, synaptic plasticity, the ability for brain cells to adapt and grow, mood regulation via the retinoid signaling system. In fact, studies published in journals like Nutrients and Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience have shown that beta-carotene intake is associated with a lower risk of cognitive decline and Alzheimer's progression. My point then is not to say that we should decrease use of these natural compounds. No, that's not the point, but to target signals and lower the risk of cognitive decline and Alzheimer's progression, especially in older populations with oxidative stress. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Vitamin A and its precursors also influence glial cells, the brain's housekeepers, which help clean up cellular debris and regulate inflammation in the central nervous system. In other words, by nourishing your brain with beta-carotene, you're helping it self-clean and stay sharp. Now let's talk practical application. Try this protocol a few times a week. Midday or early evening, enjoy a small serving of mashed or baked sweet potato drizzled with extra virgin olive oil, and add a source of choline like an egg or a bit of liver pate. Why? Because choline plus vitamin A supports the production of acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter involved in learning and memory. This kind of nutrient synergy is how functional nutrition works best, not as isolated supplements, but as food combinations that amplify healing signals. Here's a simple, brain-nourishing meal idea. Mashed sweet potatoes with olive oil, a soft boiled egg, choline, steamed spinach or kale, also rich in carotenoids and magnesium, a sprinkle of turmeric or black pepper to reduce neuroinflammation. It's delicious, grounding, and supports your brain on multiple levels, from antioxidant protection to neurotransmitter balance. And the best part? You're not fighting your brain's aging process. You're working with it, giving it what it needs to repair, clear waste, and function with clarity. If this is helping you see brain health through a new lens, please like this video. It tells YouTube to share this content with others searching for natural, empowered ways to age well. And subscribe if you haven't yet, because we still have more healing wisdom to explore. Remember, your brain was designed to adapt and renew, not decline, but it needs the right raw materials. Sweet potatoes, when used intentionally, can be one of them. If you've ever felt calm and relaxed after a warm meal that included sweet potatoes, that wasn't just comfort food talking. That was chemistry. One of the more subtle superpowers of sweet potatoes is their ability to support better sleep. Not through sedation, but through natural physiological signaling. Here's how it works. Sweet potatoes contain small but meaningful amounts of tryptophan, an essential amino acid that serves as the building block for serotonin, your body's natural mood stabilizer, and eventually melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate your sleep-wake cycle. But tryptophan doesn't act alone. What's happening in your body is this. In order for tryptophan to cross the blood-brain barrier and become serotonin, it has to compete with other amino acids. What helps it win that race? A small, well-timed serving of complex carbohydrates, like sweet potatoes. When you eat sweet potatoes in the evening, you gently raise your body's insulin levels. That insulin helps move competing amino acids out of the bloodstream and into the muscles, leaving tryptophan with a clearer path into the brain. Once it crosses over, it gets converted into serotonin, especially when cofactors like vitamin B6 and magnesium are present. Then, as darkness falls and your circadian rhythms shift, that serotonin becomes melatonin, the hormone that tells your brain and body it's time to rest. This is one of the most elegant and natural sleep support systems in the human body, and sweet potatoes fit right into it. So here's the protocol. Eat a small serving of sweet potato with your evening meal, ideally 2-3 hours before bed. Pair it with a healthy fat like ghee or olive oil, a source of protein like turkey, which is also rich in tryptophan, and magnesium-rich greens like spinach or Swiss chard. Together, this combination supports stable nighttime blood sugar, calm neurotransmitter activity, melatonin production without pills, a gentler transition into deep restorative sleep. And this isn't just theory. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that carbohydrate intake in the evening, particularly low glycemic, complex carbohydrates, can help reduce sleep onset latency, meaning you fall asleep faster. Another study in older adults showed that poor sleep is closely tied to impaired glucose metabolism and disrupted circadian rhythms, the very processes sweet potatoes help to support when timed correctly. The takeaway? You don't need melatonin supplements, which often override your body's natural rhythms. You need to support your body's ability to make its own melatonin through food, rhythm, and light management. Here's a simple example of a sleep-supportive meal. When you eat one, you feel better. Dinner: 1/2 medium-baked sweet potato with ghee, 4 pounds of organic turkey or salmon, steamed spinach or zucchini sautéed in olive oil, a pinch of Himalayan salt, herbal tea 30-60 minutes after, like chamomile or lemon balm, and turn off screens at least 60-90 minutes before bed. Blue light suppresses melatonin production. Try candles or warm amber lighting instead. These gentle practices tell your body it's safe to relax now. If this is reshaping how you think about food and sleep, hit that like button. It helps more people learn how to work with their body, not against it. And if you're not yet subscribed, now's the time. You deserve to understand how healing works from the inside out. Because restful sleep isn't about forcing your body to shut down. It's about creating the internal chemistry of safety. And when used intentionally, sweet potatoes can help you do exactly that. Inflammation gets a bad name, but it's not the enemy. In fact, inflammation is how your body heals. It's how your immune system sends signals to repair damage, fight off invaders, and respond to stress. The real issue arises when that inflammation doesn't turn off. That's when it becomes chronic, low-grade, systemic, and destructive over time. And this kind of silent inflammation is behind many of the health issues people associate with aging: achy joints, brain fog, fatigue, slower recovery from injuries, skin flare-ups, immune overreactivity. But here's the empowering truth. You don't need a medication to silence inflammation. You need to restore balance, especially in the gut. That's where sweet potatoes shine. Again, what's happening in your body is this: every bite of food you eat is either fueling inflammation or helping resolve it. And sweet potatoes, when eaten with wisdom, are filled with compounds that naturally support your body's ability to regulate and resolve inflammation. Let's break that down. First, there's soluble fiber, a key driver in feeding beneficial gut microbes, which play a direct role in regulating immune responses and producing anti-inflammatory compounds like short-chain fatty acids. Remember, butyrate. Next, you have vitamin C, found in good amounts in sweet potatoes, especially purple and orange varieties. Vitamin C is crucial not just for collagen production and skin health, but for reducing oxidative stress and calming overactive immune pathways. Then you have anthocyanins, particularly rich in purple sweet potatoes. These plant pigments are powerful flavonoids that have been shown in multiple studies to reduce markers of inflammation and oxidative damage, especially in vascular and brain tissues. A study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that anthocyanins from purple sweet potatoes reduced inflammatory cytokines in human immune cells, essentially turning down the volume on overactive immune responses. Even more impressive, these same compounds support endothelial function, meaning better circulation, lower blood pressure, and reduced risk of cardiovascular events. So how do you use this knowledge? Here's a simple protocol. Rotate your sweet potato colors. Don't just stick to orange. Purple sweet potatoes, Japanese white flesh varieties, and even red-skinned ones offer a broader spectrum of phytonutrients that work in synergy with your gut microbiome. You can even mix and match them into a roasted medley drizzled with olive oil, seasoned with turmeric and black pepper, and served with a protein like salmon or lentils. This creates an anti-semitone, immune-balancing meal that tells your body it's okay to lower the alarm. Another tip: eat sweet potatoes earlier in the evening when inflammation peaks in many older adults. This allows your body to digest, absorb, and begin the repair process during your first wave of deep sleep, when growth hormone and cellular detox kick in. If this is helping you rethink inflammation as something your body can resolve naturally, hit the like button. These are the messages more people need to hear. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Subscribe to stay connected to this path of natural healing and empowered aging. Remember, your immune system isn't broken. It's overstimulated, undernourished, and often inflamed from the inside out. By feeding it the right signals, the kind found in whole, vibrant, intelligently prepared foods, you help it remember what it's designed to do: restore, protect, and heal. Sweet potatoes, prepared and paired wisely, are one of those signals. Let's step back for a moment. We spend this time unpacking something that at first glance seems so simple: a sweet potato. But as you've seen, it's not just a root vegetable. It's a messenger, a carrier of signals, a natural tool for communicating safety, repair, and balance to your body. And that's what food is when you work with it, not against it. So let's recap what we've discovered. When you cool a sweet potato after cooking it, you increase its resistant starch, which feeds beneficial gut bacteria, strengthens your intestinal lining, and reduces whole body inflammation that supports digestion, immune health, and even mental clarity. When you pair sweet potatoes with healthy fat and protein, you stabilize your blood sugar, support your insulin response, and avoid energy crashes, something especially critical as we age and glucose sensitivity shifts. When you prepare them simply, with the skin on, you unlock a mineral-rich food that nourishes your heart, muscles, and nervous system thanks to high levels of potassium and magnesium. When you choose deep orange or purple varieties, you bring in beta-carotene and anthocyanins, two antioxidant families that protect your brain, sharpen your memory, and reduce the oxidative wear and tear that accelerates aging. And when you enjoy a small serving with dinner, you support your body's natural production of melatonin, not through pills, but through tryptophan pathways and serotonin signaling, all contributing to deeper, more restorative sleep. These aren't isolated effects. They're synergistic signals woven into your biology, because your body isn't just a machine that breaks down over time. It's a living system, constantly scanning for what's safe, what's nourishing, what allows it to relax and rebuild. And the beauty is this: the signals it needs are often already on your plate if you learn to use them wisely. So here's your gentle challenge. Over the next 3 nights, add a small serving of sweet potato to your evening meal. Try one of these healing combinations: cooled and reheated sweet potato with olive oil and steamed greens, mashed sweet potato with ghee and turkey, roasted purple sweet potatoes with sea salt, black pepper, and a soft boiled egg. Notice how your digestion feels. Notice your mood the next day. Your body is always speaking to you. It just needs the right conditions to speak clearly. And if you're wondering whether one food can really help with 12 common aging complaints, from joint pain to blood sugar swings to sleep struggles, I'd offer this. It's not just about the sweet potato. It's about the pattern, the rhythm, the choice to treat food as more than fuel, and your body is more than a diagnosis. So if this resonated with you, if you're beginning to see food through a new, more hopeful lens, tell us in the comments, what will you try first? What's one shift you'll make tonight? And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. This is just the beginning of your journey into natural healing and healthy aging, because your body isn't broken. It's brilliantly designed to heal when given the signals it's been waiting for. And sometimes those signals come in the form of a warm, humble, perfectly cooked sweet potato.